This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the UK's #1 coral selling website, coral-auctions.co.uk and reefdork.etsy.com for all your 3D printed aquarium accessory needs. What's up, YouTube? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Prestige Reef Dork show. First one in 6 years, I think it's been. So,
it does feel like it's been a long time. It's been so long, I forgot that you changed the intro, and it surprises me.
I knew you'd forget. I could see your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, the UK's #1 website is now, coral selling website is now coral-auctions.co.uk. So,
Yeah. Well, yeah, technically.
So today we're going to be debriefing Aqua, which was last weekend. There was no chance that a live stream was happening last weekend. You would have been even more tired than me. Oh, would you not? Oh no, actually, I wasn't either. I had problems getting home. But anyway, Aqua was amazing. So we're going to talk about that. And that there is some news.
Intriguing.
Yeah, but
do you know what? That sort of suggests don't get too excited.
No, it's still pretty quiet, but from here onwards it should start picking up a bit, I think.
Yeah.
But there is, so Ryan just told me the Prestige Reef Fish of the Week, which we'll come on to later. Yeah. But it's a banger. This might be my favorite ever.
I'm really genuinely surprised that you actually like it that much.
Okay, it's just completely. I've never seen one. I had no idea it existed, and it's the sort of thing that you would think you would know it existed. So no, that is what you call retention bait, because you've got to keep watching now to find out. So
that is true. That is true. That's what it's funny. The chances are, if Alex hasn't seen it and I've only seen it a couple of times, the chances are that you probably haven't seen it. So worth the wait.
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna put it right at the end now. So bastard episode. So yeah, there we go. I mean, like in terms of I think it might have been 3 weeks since we were. I can't even remember now because I feel like one of us was away beforehand.
It wasn't me. It was you.
Maybe it was me. Yeah. But anyway, so we're back now. There's no plans to be away for a little while. That might change. I like a last minute getaway.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a good run from here onwards. We'll talk about Aqua in a bit, and we'll do all the usual nonsense as well. To bore you to tears while you do your water changes. Thanks very much. Which we talked to a lot of people at Aqua, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I put this on last time, hoovering the carpet." Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't sit there and watch it together, and get your whole family around. Oh, okay. No, mate. No. Just whilst I'm, washing the car.
I told that when we were having a drink in the evening, didn't I? I said, people keep coming up to me and saying, "Oh, just so you know, I watch you when I'm doing something that's even more boring."
I love it. I put the podcast on to fall asleep. It knocks me out straight away. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll have a chat about that. What have you, apart from Aqua, have you been doing? Obviously before Aqua, you were just 100% Aqua.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Since then, have you done anything apart from recover?
No. So I never, ever go to sleep in the day, ever. I actually hate having naps. Some people will be like, "How can you hate having naps?" No, that's because you're an old man.
I am.
I hate having naps because I wake up and I'm so angry after I woke up because I feel like I've not had enough
wasted time. Yeah. Oh, okay.
And there's only one day of the year which I ever have a nap in the middle of the day, and that's because I literally cannot keep my eyes open. And it's the Monday after Aqua. Both Rachel and I fell asleep on the sofa.
Yeah.
And then you wake up 2 hours later, and I'm really mad.
Yeah.
But so it's a lot. To be fair, a lot of it's been recovery. Not recovery. It's not. It's a weird thing because it mentally does you in. So it makes you feel it's not. There is some level of physical tiredness because you're carrying 45 25-liter containers, which if you add up all the amount of weight, that's 75% of an elephant of how much water you have to transfer backwards and forwards. I work in elephants these days.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So there's that. The other thing that many of you will probably understand, but it's way worse when you have a coral farm at your house. Have you got a cupboard somewhere full of old fish crap? like not crap, but, like
a cupboard. Yeah.
like multiple cupboards. I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
So under the stairs is the worst. There's just a load of stuff that I can't get rid of just in case.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There's those things. Well, like 2 entire rooms of my house were unusable because of that. So this week I've had a shed built the size of the kitchen,
Oh
like
yes.
the entire length of my house, and it has been life-changing. But we filled it up the last 2
The
days.
entire length of your house. That's like 5 meters long or something.
It's massive. It's absolutely it's massive, and
it's quite thin though, isn't it? Because that strip is
it's not as thin as you think it is.
8 feet wide, something like that.
I don't know, but either way, the funny thing is we have filled it up. Like we filled the entirety up with fish stuff, and it's like, how have I been living for the last 4 years having fish stuff in the house?
Well, when we were at Aqua breaking down at the end of it, I think I said to you, where are you going to put all this stuff? Where has it been? And then you said you were building this shed, but like there was a lot of 2 vans full.
It blows your mind just how much stuff a 6 meter by 3 meter stand is. Like my entire downstairs had tanks in it, the stands. I bought 51 like the 25 liter containers. There's a picture somewhere. So like today is the first day where we've had the house back in probably like 2 months.
Yeah, well, that's over a ton of water.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. It was. I
thought you were going to pour that away at the end of the show.
No, so on the way there, obviously we took it with us, and on the way back we poured most of it away. We did take some back with us.
Oh, okay.
But nowhere near as much. I think we may have taken.
Why did you take some? You took some of it back. Why did you take it back?
I have to take. So they don't have water there for you.
Yeah.
So you can order it in advance if you want. But let's say okay, well, what I want to have 300 liters. And then you get those 300 liters and you fill your tank up, and then people buy coral from you. So you're then losing the water all the time, and you go back to them and say, "Can I have some more?" And they go, "No, we bought the water with us for you, so we're not making it here." So I bought like 7 extra ones, if you see what I mean.
So that was you were taking back the unused stuff.
Yes, yeah, that was the
right.
stuff.
I see. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Right.
But yeah, it was the day was. So obviously I get a very different experience to other people with regards to Aqua, which is both good because I absolutely love it, but it's also sad because I don't get to like experience it like other people do. Yeah. I actually experienced it by watching other people's YouTube videos, which I'm grateful for because like although I was there was the only thing that I saw that was sort of like quite cool was they had that anemone. I'm sure you saw like
the Chicago sunburst.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to the Friday. I woke up at 4 a.m. or 3:45 to prepare for this. Everything went off without a hitch, other than the fact the water wasn't warm enough. So I had prepared some of the water in the containers beforehand, because you know how long it takes to warm water up, don't you?
Yeah.
And I'm taking 400 liters of water in those cool boxes, and that was like 23 degrees, which is warm enough, but not really. Yeah. So I had to like frantically try to warm those up at 4 a.m. So I got all these spare heaters and threw them in to be my plan was to leave the house at 6, and I didn't leave the house until 8. So it took 4 hours just to get the corals out of the tanks and into the van.
That was on the day in the morning. You left at 8 in the morning. Oh, on Friday, of course.
On Friday, yes, yeah, because we go down there obviously before.
The day before.
The funny thing was what people said to us when we got there. Like we arrived, and actually the other thing, so I don't know if Jamie's listening, but Jamie has an electric van, and he's kept stopping at petrol stations to charge, but he couldn't charge because either it was the wrong charger because it was a Tesla one, and he eventually got to the event. And I think it had 3 miles left. Yeah. Now, for those who don't know, if you break down an electric vehicle, it's not like they can go get some petrol for you.
Fucked. Yeah.
You're done basically.
But AA can come out and charge you, but it's slow. So they charge you enough.
They can do that, can they?
They charge you enough to get you to the nearest station, but it's slow.
I didn't know that.
Because I had the same issue on the way. That's why I was going to get back. I was scheduled to get back quite early on the Sunday. Yeah. And if I had done, I would have uploaded more videos. But I had the same issue. I stopped at 3 places. All of the charging stations were out of order. And eventually I found one at a restaurant that was really slow. So I was there for about just over an hour. to add 40 miles of range. So I was editing a video whilst I was waiting. But
I realized that having an electric car is like probably amazing 99% of the time, but every so
1%.
often you do that one weirdly long journey, and you're just anxious the entire way.
It's so annoying, But
so anyway. but yeah, so that was also fun and games on the day. We we got there. The other people were setting up their stands, but because obviously my stand basically pops up and goes down really quickly. So we were like in and out, and people said to me afterwards, like, "You are like a whirlwind. You go in there with 7 people. It goes up within an hour, and then you have an hour putting the coral in, and then you're gone." So, and that's the best way of doing it. Anyone who's thinking about doing it, anyone who's thinking about doing a show like this, you want to plan it at the beginning. There were some people that had like actual made stands where they were like being made by carpenters, like at the show, which is like fair enough. Looked very professional, and it was, but
people don't care. And people don't notice.
That's a lot of work, and people only care about the coral, if you see what I mean. So it's anyone who's thinking about doing it. There's something that I just want to do a quick shout out to the people that obviously helped. Some of them are in the chat. Licia, it was amazing. She was the lady who worked the wheel with the orange hair, if people didn't know. Licia's partner Aaron, Rebecca is one of my customers. Chris, Jamie, like I cannot thank Jamie enough. I'm just trying to work out if I missed anyone. Me. No, I'm just checking. Rachel.
But
people most people don't know who Rachel is.
Last.
Rachel. Have I missed anyone? I don't think I have.
Chris.
No, I said Chris.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Chris. And then Mark helped on the second day. And Mark works at Reef Keep Moss End. And all of these people, I could not do it with people. Some people go, "Oh, your stand's amazing. You put so much effort in. You've done the corals and everything." But trust me, I can put the effort in with the corals. I could not do it without all these people. So I really hope I haven't missed anyone. There was one. Sam was work experience guy was meant to be there, but he had a bad back. So in the end, so he almost was there. That's why I'm not sure if I missed anyone.
He's on the list now.
He's on the list. No, because he called me up yesterday to go, not yesterday, a couple of days ago. We're cool. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it.
No, Sam, you should have heard what he was telling me.
No. Look, everything was fine, and that's not true. In case Sam does listen to these,
so Amy does some stuff. TikTok Amy was supposed to be there as well, but she was moving house, and it all went pear-shaped basically, or not pear-shaped, but just she couldn't turn up, which was a shame as well. But just sometimes things happen, and you can't do it. So
of course. And look, when he said he's got a bad back, I'm like, I can't have you standing here all day.
Oh, exactly, yeah. Back pain is awful as well. As an old man,
it's real. It gives me a tremendous amount of stress and anxiety before going to the show, and then at the show, I absolutely love it. And then the day after, I go, never again. And then a day after that, I go, I cannot wait for the next one. You see what I mean? And it makes a massive difference. I think, I don't know if there'll be more or less coral sellers next year. There were quite a lot this year. I thought there were a lot.
So I spoke to a few. I made a lot first. I owe all of them an apology, including you, because I spoke. My plan originally was to make a video of all of the coral vendors and just spend 2 minutes with each of them and make like a 20-minute video. Actually, probably would have been longer than that. But I just couldn't be asked in the end, if I'm completely honest. I got to the point where I'd made 13 videos, which is already too many. And I was like, I'm done. There were still other stands I wanted to do as well. Polyp Pros was one of them. And I was like, you know what, it's not happening. So I just didn't do any more. And I on the first day, I was like, I'll come back and do this. So if I told you that I was going to do a video and I didn't, sorry.
But look, that's what happens when you're there. You get distracted by too many things, and you're enjoying the day, and it's like you don't want to work. Like it's when you're doing those things, you're working, aren't you?
To be honest, a lot on day one, it was actually quite overwhelming because there was so much stuff there. So I only did 3 videos on the first day and then 10 on the second, and that was because there was just so much to take in. And it was like wood for the trees. I was like, where do I start? And then eventually I just cracked on. It was fine. But there was just day one, there was so much there. and so much to do. It was so much bigger than it was last year.
Yeah.
More people there for sure. I don't know how many. We didn't get a figure of the attendance, but it was more.
Look, I agree. I've seen a few people think there were less people there this year, and this is one of the things that people said to me about there being less people there. They go, "Oh, your stand was really busy last year, and it wasn't really busy this year." And I'm like, "No, last year I had 2 tanks. This year I have 4 tanks. So like there wasn't this big queue that was before."
They'd worked out the spacing a lot better as well.
Yes, so much better. And the other thing is, there was this massive last year there was this massive seating area for the talks. Well, people didn't realize that what they'd done is they'd actually spaced everything out into that area, so that seating area didn't exist anymore. It was a much smaller area in a different place. And what I can tell you is, and whether this is true or not, is it a true reflection or not to the amount of people there? So I sold 25% more coral this year than I did last year. So I look at that and go, that to me suggests there were more people there.
So you had a bigger stand, and you brought more coral, so that might make sense.
Yeah.
So it's not an exact number, but actually, if you were to tell me, if I found out the official number was 25% higher than last year, that would feel about right to me. And because I spoke to so many people, like on the stands and all that sort of stuff, I asked all of them, how do you think it's been? Do you feel like it's been busier? Because I was trying to work it out, and pretty much everybody said, yeah, it's been busier than it was last year. I think the Sunday felt quieter.
Yeah.
But it was definitely more people. The stands, my God, the stands, some of them were so good. Last year it was amazing. It didn't matter that some of the stands weren't up to scratch up to what the standards that they hit this year. But you could tell that some of the stands last year, they were testing out the water. So, well, we'll be there. It'll be good to support it. Let's see what it's like. And that they'd obviously come back thinking, okay, this is worth putting a bit of effort into. And the stands they were so good. I loved how many coral vendors there were as well. There were millions.
I was actually I'm not sure this is the right word, but intimidated this year. So last year I set my stand up and I thought, yeah, I've done all right. I've done quite well with this. And I thought this year will be the same. And then because the level of quality with the stands had jumped up so much, and once I set my stand up, I went, this isn't as good as the giant stand opposite me.
Yeah. Aqua did a good one.
and so even Aquatic Emporium, they had a professional stand. Yeah, there was a good stand.
That's some nice corals as well.
I can't name all of them, obviously. I got to kind of remember all of them, but some people went really Exodus this year did a proper,
brilliant, really.
And they thought it was amazing as well. They had a display tank. I loved that because
with corals and fish.
With coral and fish. And when you go to the shows in America, you see display tanks. But last year there wasn't any, and this year I didn't expect there to be any, but there was actually 2, I think.
I was going to say there was definitely more than just that one.
Because Charterhouse had a one with just anemones in it.
They did, yes.
And I think there was a few other.
Hello Reef Exodus had 2 display tanks, in fact.
I'm sure. Oh,
they had the big Nios one with the ATI light over it.
Yeah, that's the one I could see from the stand.
They had the little Hello Reef tank as well, little nano. You're blind to nano tanks. You don't see them.
Yeah, true.
They don't exist. So, but there might have even been more as well. But definitely there were a couple of coral vendors who sounds like didn't do that well. And I think location was a big deal. So there was one that I hadn't. One of the things is when I say I was overwhelmed because there was so much stuff. At the end of the second day, when I was just kind of mooching around, I'd basically done all I needed to do. I was like, well, let's just have a walk around. I still found walking around, there was loads of stuff that I hadn't seen that was really cool. And one of them was ocean grown ornamentals, who I think are still on eBay.
They had some nice torches, didn't they?
They are. So I went and had a chat with them. I didn't know they were there. They weren't in a great spot, which is unfortunate. And I don't know how well they did. But man, some of their torches, a lot of the stands had some nice corals, and I came away from a lot of them thinking that's a nice stand, nice corals. But that was the one stand that I was like, they are amazing. They were expensive. They were 350 quid each. But that's not overpriced in my opinion. They were really you don't see that at all ever. They were lovely. So they were great. And there were others as well. There was Prime Corals who's in the chat, who's a fellow Saints fan, good lad who I met. They were there, they were good. There was loads. There were too many. UK Reef, I think, was another one that was a reasonably good size stand.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. That was a really tall guy, wasn't he?
That's it, yeah.
I said to, I can't remember what I said. I said, you should be a bouncer or something. He went, yeah, I used to be a bouncer.
Really? That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah, he was in your video, wasn't he? Actually, but there
Yeah.
were loads, too many that I can't remember now even. But it was they were much better. I got the impression that some didn't do as well as others. I think some did really well,
Yeah.
others not so well, and definitely the location. Ocean Growing Ornamentals, I didn't even know they were there till the end of the second day.
I think there's because his stand was like way out the way compared
Yeah,
to like, and it was also it was next to like or hidden behind like the D&D stand, wasn't
the
it?
DD stand was big, and it was behind
Yeah.
that. So yeah,
There was what was it?
Collective Corals was another one actually that is
They
worth
were
a shout out.
yeah. They like the other thing I like about the show is like the industry can be quite competitive sometimes with each other. But on that day, on that Friday, this is what it's like. So I'm sure you've heard the story. In like the Second World War, at Christmas Day, both
Yeah,
sides came
played
out and played
football,
football together. That's what this was like. Because on the day, someone needs to borrow your ladder, not a problem. Charthouse gave me the. I'm not these like lots of people do get on there. Some people don't get on in the industry. Like the Charthouse were there, and I needed I needed a yellow jacket. So Ryan and Chance went, yeah, no problem. Here, I have my one. And then they went, oh, you need a trolley for all those water. Oh, you need someone to help you get that out of the van. So I got there an hour before, not an hour, probably 40 minutes before Jamie did. So I was either going to be sitting there or if someone would help me. And the guy who owns Charthouse, nice as anything, just, yeah, don't worry, I'll come help you. Just helps me get out of the van. Remember, these weigh 120 kilos. So most people don't want to be helping.
Yeah. Real camaraderie. Can I just, before we go on to that, can I tell you an interesting story about World War
Oh, okay, yeah.
With this, okay, it's kind of relevant. So we have twin towns in the UK and all over the world. So, like for example, there's a town called Dull in the UK, twinned with a town in the States called Boring. So they're dull and boring.
Really?
Yeah, which is just funny, and that's kind of what it's become now. And you do like exchanges where you go over to France and then the French come over here and you just stay with the family, whatever. But that started after World War One, when a load of the soldiers from like British soldiers were in France. They saw all the damage, and so after they finished and the war was over, they went back to those towns, to the people that they stayed with and helped, and then helped rebuild them.
I didn't know that.
And so that's what. So you got loads of, because all the windows were smashed in various places in France. So they got a load of window fitters from Britain going over, going, "We'll help you rebuild." Cologne was flattened, so a lot of people went out there. I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, but
it was off on a tangent a little bit.
I know, sorry. I just loved that. I just love that sort of thing. But yeah, everybody was kind of that. The whole event for me, the best thing about that, without a question, was how everybody there. We said this before, right? Everybody's in a good mood. Everybody wants to chat to everyone, and that's exactly what it was like. There were so many people I met who were really friendly, really nice to talk to. Prime Corals was great. UK Reef was great. I can tell. It would be easier to tell you the list of people who weren't friendly, which is like the guy on the security or whatever. No one was unfriendly at all. It was just, that was amazing. That was really good.
Well, and although people, you might think, oh, look, I'm not the sort of person to talk to people or whatever. One of my customers came back after going to the show, and he went, I was talking to someone at the stand. He lives just down the road. So it's like, you see how he actually has met someone there now. But if he wants to continue that, where he can swap frags or whatever, it's a nice. So people do meet at these events. So I always say that, like, you and I met at one of these events, didn't we? So it does happen.
For me, so I like social interactions. I don't really like if I don't like digital friendships, basically. So I like to be able to see people in the flesh, and this was like an extreme version of that. And it wasn't just because people do want to come and talk to people like you and me, don't they? But it wasn't just that, and you saw that all over the place. Everybody, you're talking and you're looking at corals in the queue, and then you'll start chatting to the person next to you and just strike up a conversation, or you'll be looking at a tank or whatever, and you start talking, and that's what it was like the whole time. I'm sure there were some people who weren't, who were a bit more quiet or whatever, but you saw that everywhere.
The other thing that stood out to me is there was one, going back to like the camaraderie of people, there was one stand that had a particularly tough time, where
Yeah.
like I think it was pretty bad. They bought some corals there. The corals were acros. They had died, and then they basically the entire tank went white. And I spoke to the guy in the evening. I didn't know this during the Saturday. I didn't know that had happened. I only found out at the very end of the day, and I actually know this person. So I called him up and I said, "Look, is there anything that you need? You can take all of the water out of your tank, every drop of it, and fill up with brand new water, which I've got in my stand if you need it." And he said to me, "Oh, look, obviously, thanks. That also, just so you know, this stand has given me a bottle of bacteria. This stand has been like helping testing the water for ammonia, all these things." And you're just like, these are other coral sellers.
Yeah,
no one
they're
there
your
going.
competition.
No one, no one's there's going good.
Yeah,
There's one less person, if
exactly.
you see what I mean, because everyone knows how much it hurts.
Yeah, totally.
So it was nice to see that, because no, it doesn't matter if someone's your competition, like, or you might sell one extra coral if they're not around. It's just like you all know what it feels like to be. You almost feel helpless when something is going really wrong with your tank, don't you? And you don't know what to do. That's exactly in that situation. It showed me that the community come together and go, "We will help fix this for you." So there was also a tanker that leaked as well. And I had a call from someone going, "Yeah, I don't I don't want to talk about like who it was or whatever, but there was one tank that leaked, and I went, look, you can, like, I've got water if you need it. I've got put those big ice cool boxes if you know what I was used. They're all empty. Go fill out with water. Whatever you need to do, just do it." Do you see what I mean? It's like no one wants negative stuff for each other in person, because everyone knows how difficult it was to actually set it up.
Yeah, I'm just laughing because JJ knows where I got the town twinning from. There's a channel called Map Men, and that's so funny. But it was from there anyway.
I didn't. Every time you type something, it comes on. It turns up on mine, and I was like, I didn't write brilliant. Wait a minute.
Yeah. But yeah, just it was really like that. Just everyone was friendly. It was really good.
Yeah. And the other thing is, everyone's in a good mood, like everyone. And like, I love selling to people face to face. Like, I think I don't know if you saw me selling to people, but it's like, it's so much fun. And it wouldn't be the same if I worked in a shop, if you see what I mean, because it's not like one after the other. But it's like, I absolutely love it. And if Nick, the person who runs it, like, he deserves an absolutely massive thank you, as well as all the other people that work with him at Aqua Group. Because if he said to me, "Oh, by the way, we're not doing it next year," I'd actually be sad. Not just for me. I'd be sad for like the industry, if you see what I mean. Because like we've done it twice now. It's worked. All we need to do is now make it bigger and better, because there's strength in numbers. And if lots of people go, then it will keep going for the next 20 years.
Well, the good news is he's already said he's going to do it again next year. So
no, I know, but it's and I think that people should, people should support that as early as possible. So like, I don't know when the tickets are available or whatever, but if they become available and you know you're going to go, just buy them.
Yeah, completely.
Because like, I know that I'm going to be there, if you see what I mean, because I will plan everything else around that time. And I know that you'll be there. So if we bought our tickets now, it will be fine. So
I'll book the hotel as soon as the date is confirmed. So.
Yeah. I'm assuming Alicia just said any idea on the dates. Well, it was the same dates last
same weekend,
year,
basically. Third week of September, or roughly there.
Yeah, so I assume that it'll be same.
Hasn't been confirmed as yet. We're like a week after, so it's 51 weeks away. So, but it'll be back. It'll be back, and
so will Prime Corals apparently.
Oh, excellent, good. And so a lot of people who were there, even if I hope some of the vendors who didn't do that well do still come back, because I'm sure you learn things, don't you? And you would have seen work for others and how to avoid issues and all that sort of stuff. So I would like that, but
it's funny because I think yours was the video. I think it was because I did a few videos with people. I did one with Spiritual Reef. I did one with Colette. I think I did one with you. And I did one with Jay, but I think yours was the one where you said to me, there's a few tanks that are a bit cloudy here, but yours are all crystal clear. And you said to me, "What have you done?" I just went, "Luck," because Like that's what you need. You need a little bit of luck sometimes, don't you? I think that was that video.
This is the video in question, right? And
Yeah.
this hadn't seen the light of day, because like I say, this was the only clip of any of the coral vendors I recorded, and
Yeah.
even I didn't even do it for my best mate. So if you lost out,
Yeah.
it's, this is why basically. But this was the you chat and look how excited you are. Look at your eyes. You're like, yeah.
I know. I'm like in the zone.
The funny thing is, I can remember what we were talking about there. So that first off, it was we were talking about those chalices, which some of them hadn't like sold that well. They're so nice. How did they do in the end? Like the red Bugatti or so?
I didn't sell a single one. I don't think.
No,
not a single one. And someone,
quid. Is that right?
I can't remember. I think they were either 60 or 80.
I thought they were more. Yeah, I thought they were 80, but.
but they might have come down to 60 a day later, or there was a section of the 60. Some of them were 40, but different. Someone in the chat said to me, "Oh, well, if you sold them there for that much, can you sell them for me now for that much?" It doesn't quite work like that, because I have to take into account that if something goes wrong in shipping, do you see what I mean? That's why on the day people went, "Oh, your corals are like really good prices." I was trying my best.
It's a one-off event.
And
that's what it is in the States as well. I from what I can see, and I've never been, but from what I can see, you get better pricing at these one-off events like that.
Yeah. Someone asked how much a booth costs. I don't see why I would not be allowed to tell people. I don't.
Maybe it's better to send a message. So email, if you're thinking of going Polymate 3D, email Ryan just in case.
Or better, email the organisers.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't want to tell people if I'm not meant to. There's a
and you'll find out then that you've been charged double someone else. So
yeah, there's a 3-tiered pricing structure, I think, or depending on the location, size of stand and stuff. Also, the other thing that varies is how much electrics you want, whether you want the stand up or no. Actually, I don't think that makes a difference. But there's a whole range of different things. So.
Actually, someone else I met was Graham from Aquarium Adventures. Hi, Graham. Scottish guy, freshwater channel. Really nice guy. So we spoke briefly before. I messaged him on Instagram, and so we'd spoken briefly. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, "There he is." Again, chat to him. And there were a load of freshwater guys that I went to talk to as well. Fish Shop Matt. You won't know because you don't watch anything on YouTube, but I had a chat with him. He was with. I don't know actually. I don't know.
I thought he was local.
But he was with a few other guys who I think were creators. I don't watch any freshwater stuff at all, so I don't know everybody. But it's a couple of the faces I knew, and everybody was really nice. And actually, on the Saturday evening, there was like this VIP event that got announced that loads of people went to, but we didn't go. I kind of regret not going, but I quite fancy just chilling out and we just. But anyway, we went downstairs to the hotel bar basically, and at the end of the night, a few people came back, and there was a room of 15 of us, and that was really good fun. That's kind of one of my favorite parts as well, when you're just chatting to everybody, and Graham was there and a few others and that sort of stuff. So I like that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, like to some extent, I also like the thing is the thought of what
you were knackered by that point.
I was knackered. Yeah. And to be fair, I wouldn't have lasted very long. And the thought of going to like a noisy bar with a load of people, I did. Yeah. I think East Coast Reef put out a video of it, and I was like, actually, it didn't look like it was too busy, and it probably would have been all right. But like, I don't regret it because I had a good time.
Where we sat, we just had a quiet room. It was just chilled out. Nothing major, couple of beers, that was it.
Everyone was like this. Like everyone on the stand was like rocking backwards and forwards. And even I think some of the oh my god, it's like people were just knackered like that, like afterwards. It's I cannot tell you, you will never understand unless you actually do it. Because Rachel, like she'd seen how exhausted I was last year, and she'd heard it, and Chris as well. Chris is this like big guy, and you'd like, and he works like does like manual
labor, hard labor,
and like he was just like, I just vastly underestimated how tired I would be. He didn't even come out for dinner with us, did he? On the second night, he just went to bed.
It was funny because even for like it, I was not putting in the hard labour like you guys were, but I was still really tired at the end of the day. Just it was just a draining day generally. But I actually felt good. So the Sunday, I felt fine, which was good to hear.
Lizz's comment, the last one, Chris was a broken man by the end. And Chris is listening. I know he's listening. I saw him in the chat a minute ago, and I think he would agree with that. I think it broke a few of us.
Yeah, indeed. Malman, did anyone else feel really guilty they couldn't buy from every vendor? I had so much, but everyone had great stock. That's so I didn't buy any corals at all, actually.
Neither did I this year,
even from you. No, but so actually, I should have done. That's a really good idea. Actually, that would have been interesting to make a video on, actually. But
one coral from every vendor, expensive.
Yeah, probably. So one of them that I really liked was at Aquatic Emporium.
Yeah,
I think it was 700 quid. It was a chalice.
It was a chalice.
It was really nice though.
I saw it.
But yeah, that's a good idea actually. No, I didn't buy any corals at all. I didn't. The thing I found with the coral vendors were there were so many of them, and there was so much. It was kind of that I felt like you didn't really have time to look at everything. And it's just, I don't know, it was just too much. There was just too much there, which is probably a good thing. But I didn't have a proper look at all of the vendors. So
I saw Aquatic Emporium at the wholesaler on Friday, and they were broken too. I'm not joking. And you just go, oh, how are you? And then first thing everyone who had a thing at the show is definitely tell you, I'm so tired. So, and they just, and the difference between me and them though, and I realized this, they had to, the next morning, they had to open the shop. I got to go to sleep on the sofa the next morning while they were working. So it's, it gave me a perception, if you see what I mean. Even Jamie took the day off this year because last year he didn't take the day off. Yeah. He regretted not taking off last year, so he took it off this year. But
so I didn't have the Monday off, but I was actually all right. I'd recovered more or less by then.
We got back hours earlier. I think we got back at 9:30, and then I had to take Chris home, which was 20 minutes away. Whereas last time, I think we got back at midnight. So even though the stand was double the size, with double the coral and double the water, we managed to somehow shave off a load of time. I think purely from there's two things. Mark was brilliant with regards to shutting it down. Everyone was brilliant, but Mark had bought a sump pump, so drain the tanks down was literally I'm getting one of those for next year. Actually, it was 30 seconds, and it just went. No, it was a big, it wasn't I think it was one for, I don't know, ponds or something. So it was quick. Brian made me buy coral from his stand. There'll be a few people that felt like that. It's I don't remember making you buy coral from my stand.
Was it this, by the way?
Yeah, that's something like that. But it wasn't that color. I don't think. I think it was yellow. But see, the other thing is the spiritual reefer. He did he interviewed me, or not interviewed. He just did a video with me. And this was on Sunday, and I was just so knackered. And he said, I can't remember what he said at the end. He said, "Is there anything else that you want to say?" And I was just like, "No,
no, done."
And I don't know if that video's gone out. I have checked a few people's channels just to see, but if that video is rubbish, please don't put it out, because I was so exhausted that I wouldn't. I tried to be exciting and enthusiastic, if you see what I mean, but I was just done by that point. I think that was 3:00 on Sunday. Sunday is a few people. If people that came on Sunday, but last year they came on Saturday, you would notice a big difference. Most people come one day. The Sunday is much quieter. Last year I did 50% of the sales on Sunday that I did on Saturday. So I basically sold half as many corals on Sunday. This year it wasn't the same, which I thought was interesting. I did more than 50%.
And more, really?
Yeah. So I did
more spread out, more smooth.
Yes. Yeah, basically, yeah. It was. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I think it was 4. I'm not sure. I can't work out. I'm terrible at maths, but yeah. if offered the chance, would you do a talk at the show? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I was not even there for the draw. The raffle draw is on my last video, and I wanted to mention this because one of the things hasn't been claimed. John Wright actually won one of them, and he's in the chat at the moment. So, but the reason I wouldn't do a talk, there's two reasons. Firstly, I would be terrible at public speaking. It's very different talking to Alex here. I don't realize there's actually a load of people listening. It's just me having a chat with Alex. And I think you would feel the same, correct?
You don't want me. You don't want me doing a talk. I'm not a public speaker. I don't know. I think I'd probably do a half decent job, but you want people who are really good at it. And
no, I would be rubbish.
Yeah.
The other thing, and this is, I'd never be able to let go enough. It's the one sad thing about the show for me is that I can't experience it like other people. And what I would love to do, and the people on the stand would have been fine with this, I'd love to go for an hour or 2 hours just to go and walk around on one of the days to just experience it like everyone else experiences it. And Rachel said to me, she said, look, you know that everyone would have let you do that. But there's two things that would happen. Like, you can't let go. So all the time that you're away from the stand, you wouldn't enjoy it.
You're a control freak.
Yeah. And I couldn't leave, like, the captain doesn't leave his ship, if you see what I mean. That's why I'm like there the whole time. I think I left the stand maybe twice. Once was to go look at an enemy, and once was to go pee. That was it. Chris, however, was a bloody trooper. He was in front of the tank, did not move the entire time. Not the entire time, the whole day did I ever see Chris not there.
Dedication.
So that was dedication. And the other thing that she said is that sometimes people come to the stand and they want to wait to talk to you. Like they wait to buy from you, which means that you would get less money if you weren't there for a couple of hours. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. Because if people really want a coral, they'll just buy a coral from anyone, wouldn't they? But maybe I thought that I'd film some of the show this year. Impossible.
No, yeah. Someone was talking about. Someone was suggesting that they should do things like have a few creators instead of doing a talk, have a few creators on the stage doing a game show or something. That I'd be up for.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The talks actually were much better attended this time around. They were mostly freshwater, like aquascaping contests and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or demonstrations, sorry. But they were much better attended. Last year, like, the chairs were half empty at best, whereas this year it was pretty much rammed all the time. I kept going over to see them. I didn't watch any of the talks, but they were much more popular than last time. So I think they've done that. They've improved that. Yeah. And they had a load of people. They had a load of, like, the bigger freshwater guys like MJ Aquascaping, Dutch guy, and George Farmer.
Yeah, I saw George Farmer.
And they both did talks. And then there was the American lady, Aquarium Info, 6 million subscribers, which is just like wild. She was there with Seache, I think. The Seache stand was really weird because it was just like, it was massive, but it was empty. And it was just her and a couple others sat on a chair.
You just wonder why all the expense to, like, have all the people, the YouTubers flown over by
stuff that they could.
Because I'm pretty sure it was Seache that did it.
Yeah, I think so.
They would just, but then again, I don't know.
Maybe they blew the budget. I don't know. But
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. But I agree with you. I thought you look around at all the stands, and there was just one stand that just had 2 tables in the middle of it, and it was like it was a 6-meter stand, I think.
Massive, yeah.
So I thought that was odd, but
I mean, I got paid quite a significant amount of money for attending. So God, they must have paid her a fortune. So.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you got paid? I'm just joking. I know. We do it for the love, and I do it for the stuff, and I do it for the sales.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, anything else that you that stood out? Any, like, highlights for you?
As I said, for me, it's the people. I love the banter with people, because it's just, and it's not with everyone, but there's, like, because people are in such a good mood, like, you can almost say almost like anything to these people. And there was someone came to the stand, they said, "Oh, can you help with something?" And I went, "1 second, I'm just fleecing this guy." So you see what I mean? And it's like, and I went, "Look, don't worry, he's one of my regular customers, so he knows I'm just sort of messing around. I'll come back, get you later." So, and it's like, and people, they go away and they come back and they have things to report and they show you what they bought, and it's like.
So I did the opposite on a Sunday. I spoke to a few people who were like, "Oh, I'm going to go and see Ryan and get some corals." I was like, "Make sure you make an offer, because he doesn't want to take corals home, so don't be shy."
I took a lot of coral home, trust me.
Yeah, I bet you did. But yeah, no, it was great. It was, I talked to so many people, just people in the show, just like hobbyists and all that sort of stuff, but loads of stands as well, loads of the vendors, loads of the like industry people like Exodus and DD and all those lot. It was really interesting. It was good. It was just
relationship building.
Actually it was. So like in my professional career, like networking used to be a big thing before, like when I was a lawyer back in the day. That was a big thing. I hated networking, and this was kind of networking. I didn't go in there thinking this is networking, but I came away thinking, actually, I've done some networking there. But what it actually was just chatting shop to people, and I really enjoyed it. And I made some good contacts. I had a really good chat with the German guy from Tunzi, Felix.
Oh yeah, he was in the stand. Yeah, he was in the stand.
He was great. He was really open with me as well, and shared some really interesting stuff. DD were great. Probably half a dozen others as well. Charterhouse, loads of people.
It's funny because even for me, even though obviously we are on YouTube, seeing other YouTubers sometimes for like, so this happened twice. I have like 30 seconds sometimes to talk to people, and like Stefan, the Yorkshire Reefer, his videos are so good, and I went and spoke to him, and it's like I don't get long enough, but it's nice to be able to like talk to him, and I just went, look, I saw your videos of Indonesia, and they were brilliant, and he probably would have appreciated that, because it's not, like if I say to you, your last video was really good, it makes you feel good, doesn't it?
I'll be like, there's no way you watched it.
Yeah, that's true.
You're lying to me. Yeah.
But
I tried to snap his camera because he's getting too good, so I need to eradicate the competition. But
he's one of those people that I actually think that I would like would be great to sit down and have a chat with. I think I've seen him 3 times, and all 3 times I've never been able to actually have that.
So I had a proper chat with him. I probably chatted to him for half an hour or so, and he taught me through some of the stuff on the stand as well. But I don't know where those guys went in the evening. Maybe they did their own thing, but I don't think I saw them outside of the show, basically. So
I'm assuming TMC went out as well. I don't know.
I didn't see them either. I had a chat with a few of the TMC guys, but
they usually do things in the evening, and I don't know what happened with them. But it's it's just, as I said, it's about
met this guy as well again, Jay's Real Reef.
Yes, yeah.
I got some insight on the on his update plans, on his upgrade plans, but I can't share that because it's secret.
If you want a bigger tank, Jay, and you're not allowed to have it because your partner, your wife, I assume that you have got a wife, I'm pretty sure, won't allow it. I now have a consistent track record of speaking to people's wives, and then them being allowed to have a bigger tank. It happened with Alex, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one of my customers has been saying for ages. I know he listens to the channel as well. For ages he's been saying, and then him and his wife were there, and I went, he needs a bigger tank, and now he's allowed a bigger tank. So if anyone, I do consultations for people's wives now.
There you go. There was some other things as well I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember.
Mine is a fluffer.
Oh dear. Okay, I'm not going to post that this year.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even quite sure what that means, but I think
tell you later. Yeah. It's a niche job.
Jay just said that. See, Jay, book a consultation. I'll sort it out.
I will hook you up with my wife.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey,
I'm not sure that's what he had in mind, but
yeah, I'm not sure how Rachel will feel about that.
Yeah. What else? Let's do member questions, because there are a couple of member questions, and you know what I'm like, I'll forget if I don't do them now.
Yeah.
So, actually, that's one thing I wanted to mention quickly. So I for some reason, and I'll show you this. This is on my Instagram. There are a load of comments. YouTube lately has been blocking. YouTube blocks. It puts certain comments into the block section that you have to approve. And it's normally if someone's called you a see you next Tuesday or whatever. Yeah. And to be fair, almost every time I go in and check, which is not that often, there's like one comment in there and it's something pretty innocuous. So I just approve it and then it disappears. Yeah. But lately, this is just 4 examples, and these have been flagged as potentially inappropriate. One of them, really nice tank, heart emoji. and all the comments are like that. They're all getting blocked like that, and it's been like that for a couple of weeks now. I've reduced the filter so it lets more stuff through. It's less strict, but I'm still getting a load of comments blocked. So if you've made a comment and I haven't replied or whatever, or it's disappeared, that's probably why. I don't understand what's going on, but I'm just going to keep manually approving it anyway. Member question, and if you remember, and you've you've posted a question, which I hope that would have got through, but it's not impossible that would have been deleted. And so the two questions are from Nilius Mike. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. Who is in the chat? The UNS tanks, Ultimate Nature Systems at Charterhouse stand looked amazing. This is at Aqua. The larger UNS tanks, you saw them, didn't you? I think you actually liked them.
What, the Charterhouse ones?
Yeah.
I think I like the look of the glass. I think I had a very brief. I was shown very briefly the stand. I actually watched your video on it as well. It's, I don't know if it would be crowded. It looked good, but I don't know if, it looks crowded. I need to actually look, have a play around with it, if you see what I mean.
The big one, the 4-foot one.
Yeah, it's
What do you mean
how
crowded?
it's hard to describe.
Oh, the sump. Yeah. It was very busy. I know exactly what you mean.
It was all it was quite compact.
There was
and they
no
had
space, no open space. It was
just that's what I mean. And they had this. It was genuinely nice tank. It was it was. I believe it was be quite expensive, but it was also a premium tank. There's one of the things that I would want to change, and probably other people would want to change. Although I don't actually know how big it was. The auto top up. You just saw this little drawer that gets pulled out, don't you?
Yeah.
And then you have to pour into it. Well, does that last a day? Does it last a week? Is it? I don't know.
That was one of the questions I asked everybody about, because there were a lot of tanks there I talked to people about. Yeah. And so one of my favorite things to do is ask really innocuous questions with really simple answers, and the person you're interviewing doesn't know the answer. It's like, oh, what length is this? And they're like, oh, I don't know. What price is this? And they're like, oh, I don't know. It's hilarious. But everybody's like, oh God, I don't know. It's like, don't worry, everybody's the same. But on that one, I asked everybody how long the auto top off would last.
Yeah.
And no one really knew, to be honest with you. But that was bigger than it wasn't a small one. I would guess they all were about a week. So I think that was all right. But it was pretty rammed in. And in terms of the price, so that was a 4-foot tank. The equivalent Red Sea Reefer, a 425 XL, is about $2,000, and that tank is about $4,000. Sorry, $4,000, $3,000. Sorry, so it's about 50% more. But then the nice Red Sea Reefer that's 4 foot long is a tiny bit more expensive than the UNS one. So it's a premium tank, and you get a load more features. And whether it's worth it. At the end of the day, there were some really nice tanks there, and a few people came up to me and asked what tank they should buy, and there were some lovely tanks there. Those UNS ones were particularly nice, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what tank you buy. It doesn't matter if you buy a $3,000 tank with a ton of really good features, or a 500 quid secondhand one with just a basic sump and it's a glass box. It doesn't matter. No one cares about how the tank looks. You probably like it on day one, but after that, it just doesn't matter. So
the functionality of the sump makes a difference, but other than that,
there is it's true. But anyway, so I've interrupted myself. Larger UNS tanks, are they all from form and limited function, or are they worth the premium? Are they worth the premium? They've got some really cool features that like for cable tidies and making it easier to chuck stuff in, and various things that are definitely, watch the video to see all the features, because it's too many to mention. But they definitely are nice. But is it worth the extra money over like a standard tank that's 50%, or is it 50% more value? You're not getting 50% more tank effectively, so it doesn't matter. So if you decided that's really important to you, I've got the money, I want all those features, they're really useful, I can access the cabinet from all sides instead of just at the front, those sorts of things, brilliant, spend the money. But if you decide, do you know what, I don't know if I can afford that, I probably can, I don't know if it's worth it, get the standard one, the cheap one, and spend $1,000 on corals, because spending $1,000 on corals will give you more pleasure.
I like that the weir box was more streamlined, wasn't it? It wasn't like a big
flatter
brick. It was flatter and curved, which I actually think that makes a difference.
That makes a difference. Yeah.
The Neptunian cube tanks are the only ones that have got it visually right, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Like the only larger tanks. I don't know what the long-term ramifications of having that like little slit at the back are. Does it fill up with detritus and you can't clean it? I don't know.
So I'll just show you a picture. So this is the ultra slimline weir box on the Neptunian Cube,
Yes.
and this is what everyone talks about. Oh, Aquacadabra. Oh, by the way, if you're watching, you emailed me before and said, "Come and say hello." I couldn't find you. So
I had exactly the same thing.
maybe
Literally,
they
I
weren't
got the
there.
email and I was like, where are they?
Oh, okay. Anyway, email me if you want to have a chat. Anyway, so it's a super slimline weir box, and everybody, it was so funny. Everybody on the video commented, "Oh, that's going to clog up, and oh, it'll be a nightmare to clean."
Yeah.
I don't think that'll be an issue at all. My last tank I closed down after 6 years. I hadn't cleaned the weir box once. I don't think I've ever cleaned a weir box, and it was full of like sponges and like filter fibers and all that sort of stuff. But I would be amazed if that clogged up. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I don't think that's an issue. But what I feel like is people are so put off by it that I feel like actually people aren't worth taking the punt. I think that's not something to worry about. But it seems to be an obstacle that people are like, no, it looks cool, but I just don't want it.
I'm surprised because as far as I'm concerned, I'm surprised more tank companies aren't doing that now.
Flat weir boxes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised other people haven't gone, that's a really good idea. Let's do the same thing. But the thing is, they're not one of the main. Like, if I said to you, like, name me 3 main tanks, you'd probably go Red Sea, D&D, Water Box, or whatever. Yes, so that they're not one of the main ones at the moment. That's probably their biggest issue. Could they make the weir box slightly larger so you could just get like a siphon hose down there if you had to? That would result, like, stop that problem. But you're right.
What they need to do is persuade YouTubers to take their tanks. I can't because I've just set up a 6-foot tank and I'm not replacing that. But find some YouTubers and then give them, and then they'll do long-term updates.
Yeah. I just realized my laptop's not plugged in, so keep talking for 10 seconds if I get my cable.
In which case, I'll finish off the question with Mike. So the Nano. So to answer the question, are they worth a premium? Yes, they are, because there's a load of features that are really nice. The 45-degree mited edges on the glass look really nice. But if you decided that you would rather spend £2,000 on a tank and spend £1,000 on corals, that's probably a better idea. You'll get any money you invest in equipment will give you less pleasure than the money you invest in corals and fish. But yeah, I think they probably are worth a premium. But what does that actually mean? Because it won't give you more pleasure. Which is a weird way of saying it. The Nano UNS tanks. Do you think the prices at the show are reflective of what they are when they will be released? I think that Peninsula was the same price as the First Wave 78. Yes, I do. So I had a chat with Charthouse about the price. They said they don't know for sure yet, but it's going to be, because it depends how many they can fit in a shipping container, more or less. They think they're going to be 250 quid for the tank, but because you have to put it on a pallet, postage is expensive, so it's 50 quid for postage basically. And I was like, look, don't tell me the price if you're not sure. If you want to say, oh, we don't know yet, then just say that. But he was quite confident, so I think it will be around that price. The difference with the First Wave 48 is that you get the light, the pump, and a skimmer, whereas you get nothing with the UNS tank. But that UNS tank was particularly nice. The little one, the 3-foot long Nano, I thought it was really, like, just build quality.
Yes,
dimensions.
I know. It looked really sleek, didn't it? For a nano tanks, sometimes they're a bit like plasticky, aren't they? And they're like, they're designed to be cheap. Was there a price on that one then? I didn't see it.
Yes, there was. It was 250 quid.
Okay, I don't know how that compares to other ones.
This one. So I think I thought it was going to be more expensive, because UNS system tanks, that's a premium tank. You're not buying that if you want a budget tank.
Yeah.
So I think 250 quid is actually a pretty good price, plus the postage, of course. This is the other one that's the equivalent of the TMC one. I'm sure no one will mind me saying is not as nice build quality as the UNS tank, but it's get cheaper. A lot more. You get all the equipment with it, and it's not. They're not aimed at the same person. That UNS tank is probably people like you or I who've had who've been in the hobby
a
for
nano
a while.
Tank. You or I?
Me then, who want something really nice and prepared to spend a bit more money and buy all the equipment and all that sort of stuff. Whereas the TMC tank, it's called the First Wave because it's for your first tank. So I don't think they're aimed at the same people, but the UNS one is definitely nicer. But I think that price is likely to be the same. But I don't know. He hadn't confirmed it as yet, but you'll have to look on their website. I think, did I see someone in the chat? $2.99 on the website, $2.99 free shipping. Yeah, so I think, yeah, that's it basically. The free shipping is included in the price. And I think someone said they bought one. I just paid 300. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So yeah, I think that is right. Is it just me, says EIY Kumar, or does Alex look weird with no blue light in the background? It is not just you. I hate it. It looks.
I did
This
actually. I
room
did
looks
wonder
so
what.
dark.
I thought you looked different, and I
Yeah, yeah.
couldn't. Right from the very beginning, I was like, something.
So the K tank is now
well lit.
completely drained. There's no water in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've just realised I probably left the fan on. Let me shut that. There's no water in it, so I've drained it and I've taken the light down. I've sold the light I needed. I spent a load of money. I bought a new laptop when I got back from Aqua. So for editing and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it looks really. This room looks really dark now, so I need to get another tank up there. So I know
I need a tank, so I've got more light. Or you could just buy a light.
Well, that's the thing. The other option is that in the meantime, I'll just put a light up there or something. But it looks really dark. I don't like it. You're absolutely right. Mike says he really likes that UNS Peninsula. If it stays that kind of price, is no brainer. It is really nice. The only thing I don't like about it is I'd like it to be wider and taller. But maybe that's part of its charm. This hobby is expensive. Was there any talk from any vendors regarding more accessibility to the hobby, lower cost yet quality lighting options, it's tank lighting options, etc.? Yeah, there was actually. So there's always there are always options for both ends of the hobby. So the UNS tanks, for example, they are not aiming at the cheap end of the market. They won't mind me saying they're not a budget tank. They'd probably be offended if I did say they're in a budget tank. That's not what they're there for. But TMC they do want to get people in the hobby.
Yeah.
They, for a start, they actually really care about growing the hobby. But also, just from a commercial point of view, if they get people into the hobby, they'll be able to sell more fish. So that's why that's part of the reason they do it. But they want to get people into the hobby, so they give you basic stuff that's affordable. Okay, it's not crazy money. Like the Hello Reef tank it's a really good starter tank, but it's 700 quid.
Oh, is that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of money, and you get a lot more than you do with the TMC tank. And it's a great option if you've got a bit more cash and you don't want any hassle. Brilliant. But the TMC tank is a proper budget option, 300 quid. Most people can save up and afford that. So there's stuff like that, and the bigger one, the bigger TMC first wave is I much prefer that, much more like it in terms of size, but also light as well. DD are bringing out a light called the Function Light. Which was I did a video on it. You'll have to go and check it out. But it was surprisingly cheap. I was actually like he told me for the first time the price in the video, and I was like, oh really? I was expecting it to be double that more or less. So yes, there is some stuff.
I didn't see that. What? Because they distribute AI, don't they?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they distribute the Aqua Illumination. So that's interesting. They've got their own light out.
I don't think they're rivals. They were different pricing. They were, because AI is not an expensive light. Well, the blades are quite expensive, but AI is more budget than Radions, for example. And the DD one, I think, is more budget than the AI lights. Yeah. So they were. I think they were like 200 quid for a one that would go over a tank like the Cade, which is good value. There's better, there are better options. There are cheaper options out there if you want to go cheap. But for a big company like DD, that's a good option. So yeah, there was some stuff like that. Actually, there were some things that were cheap. They also had a load of return pumps and power heads. They looked a lot like the Jekod stuff. Yeah. That's no bad thing because Jekod is fantastic. And they're a little bit more pricey than the Jekod because they've probably changed things. I don't know if it's the same pump. It might not be. I don't know. But it's even then, if you want the basic budget, cheap Chinese stuff, not necessarily anything wrong with that, then you've got that option. If you want something with a UK warranty and UK customer service, all that sort of stuff, which is worth it, then you've got something a bit more expensive. If you want something even more expensive, there's the Ecotech or whatever. So yeah, I feel like there's more and more options. There you go, 250 quid for the small one or 400 for the big one. And the big one was, I reckon that would be 600 quid if it was a Radion, for example. But anyway, so there are more options. There's more options across the pricing spectrum. We still don't have masses of competitions like smartphones or cars or whatever, but it's definitely getting better. There's definitely more options.
Second hand is also always an option as well.
100%.
Did you notice that I had different lights on
I did, only when I was breaking it down with you at the end of the show. Yeah.
Oh, Yeah, but so you didn't notice you didn't notice the difference with the lighting though, like when it was lit,
I know.
because I think some of those lights were from maybe 10 years ago. They were the
Really?
Gen 4s. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Gen 4s were like 10 years ago.
No, I think that we're only on Gen 6 now. I think it was like 6 years ago.
Maybe.
Anyway, whatever.
Either way,
They were old.
I'm pretty sure the Gen 4s first came out longer than 6 years ago, but you're going to Google it now, aren't you?
We'll find out. You might be right. I think it's between 6 and 8 years. Anyway, carry on.
Oh, I thought you were looking.
It'll take me a bit of time to find out.
Okay. But yeah, so what I was saying, there's always a second-hand option.
2016. You're right. 9 years.
9 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had 9-year-old lights.
Nice.
I had 9-year-old lights on there, and I think possibly 4-year-old lights. So, and they work. So, and I checked the par on all of them and everything, and they were like they're good to go.
A really good option is to look for something that's 6 months old, because you get loads of people who either change their mind or get out of the hobby or whatever.
Yeah. And
if it's 6 months old, it's going to be basically new. It's still under warranty. I don't know if that's always transferable, but anyway, it's definitely but either way, it's unlikely to go wrong, and it's probably half price.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And you often get like free stuff, like people have bought the mounting brackets and they'll chuck that in, or the control or whatever. So
yeah, that is true actually.
Yeah.
Going back to the starter tanks, the person who actually built the shed breeds Malawi cichlids, and he saw obviously I showed him the coral farm, and I was like, you should get a TMC tank, one of those little, the little ones, because it's true. That's what it's they're for people to get into it
completely.
So it'd be interesting. I'm going to see him again on Monday, as in tomorrow. So I'll be interested to see if he's actually done any research into it. And I was like, look, once you have,
you're just trying to groom him into the hobby. For one
no, what basically once because people are like, oh no, I love my freshwater tank, and I'm like, yeah, but once you've got a marine tank, just a couple of clownfish, you won't love your freshwater tank as much.
It's true. He did his follow-up questions where he said, why no clams at Aqua? Sad. I didn't notice that there weren't clams. There probably were some, but
okay, this is the reason. There's usually not anemones, and there's usually not clams or anything that's sort of similar, like those, like tube worm things. Basically, anemones and clams are known for spawning or splitting, and the expensive ones split when they're moved or uncomfortable or whatever. And if the clams spawn in the tank, that's basic. It happened at one of the Mactas ones.
Everywhere.
Like, clam mania. Your tank is just white. It is just, and he spent the entire show just doing water changes to try to, like, I don't know what happens if you just leave it in there. Does it like pollute the tank? But it's a problem basically. So because people were like, oh, you should bring some of your bubble tips. I was like, hell no. It is not worth the hassle. So
but that was funny, because the one that someone paid £1,200 for this anemone, and he went to collect it the next day, and it had split into two. So he got two.
Well, I believe. So this story changes often, like from what I've heard. So I think that it sold for 1,000. I think is what it actually was. I think, and I think that it then split, and then he sold the smaller one to someone else as well.
Okay. Brilliant. That's what I would have done. Yeah.
I think that's what actually happened. Yeah. And if I had known that, I'd have bought it myself. But they didn't come to me apparently. And I hate anemones, but that was a cool one, wasn't it?
It was nice. It was different. Yeah.
The thing is, though, so whether it was £1,000 or 1,200, like, when you're at a show, you have those sort of customers. The chances are, unless you're someone who's going to try to propagate it, most people aren't going to spend that sort of money. But then again, if it turns into like 16 after over a year, and you sell them for £200 each, you're still well in profit, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Did I have anything else to tell you really about? I think actually. Is there anything else you want to talk about with Aqua? I think I've covered pretty much everything, to be honest. I think.
No, I'd say I think I pretty much said what I was. I'm happy with it, if you see what I mean. Like, I'm glad that it's going, and I can't wait for next year. Is the honest answer, because it's good for the hobby. It's good for people who attend. As I said, and people that go, oh, just 20 quid's too expensive, or whatever, or anyone who says anything negative about it, you're not helping the hobby, is what I want to say. And that's it. So,
but it's brilliant. It's really good.
Yeah.
There'll always be someone who doesn't like it. because
No, I know.
there'll be someone who doesn't like everything. You'll have someone who will go and meet the king, and they'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh well, yeah, his crumpets were cold or whatever." Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I'd be surprised if most people didn't like it.
I think the
99%
general consensus was
love
people
it.
were well happy. So,
Everyone I spoke to loved it, absolutely loved it. So yeah.
that's it.
So there we go. And I'm done with videos. I've got no more to come. It's all I'm all out.
You let me down. You let me down, Alex.
I know.
So-
I know. That's why I got that one clip of you that's like 2 minutes long. So I
You
let
just
everyone
send it.
down.
You should send it to me anyway. If you, I don't know how easy it's sent. Just because it's nice for me to be able to like see different clips of it. As I said, I literally live the show by watching other people's YouTube channels.
I'll do it. I'll send it over to you. Yeah.
Do you get a free ICP test when someone just said I thought £20 was a bargain? You got a free. I didn't know that.
I didn't get given a free ICP test, but I think there was a stand giving them away. I just didn't know where it was. But yeah, there you go. I mean, if it's 20 quid and you get a free ICP test,
it's like a no-brainer.
If they could do that officially on the door, that's probably. I mean, that's like 3,000 or 4,000 ICP tests that someone would have to give away. So maybe that's not possible, but that would be amazing because then it's like, well, free ticket.
Oh no, it says I did in my goodie bag.
Interesting.
So maybe it was. That's what they should have bloody advertised. They should have gone, it's 20 quid, but don't worry, you get a free ICP test.
Yeah. If they can do that or something like that.
Yeah.
But there was loads of free stuff. I didn't want to carry around stuff, and a couple of people gave me stuff, and I was like, I don't want to carry around, to be honest, because I've got other things. But
I didn't get free anything.
There was loads of free stuff. If you know where you were looking, and that was your mission, you'd have come away with goodie bags.
So. No, I didn't know. Alicia just said, look, she doesn't need any more pens or key rings for a long time. And Exodus were giving away ICP tests.
There you go.
And some people came back with nice corals too. And I appreciate all the people that supported it because it was a tremendous amount of work.
Well, so your nicest coral, and one of the only corals I got a clip of, which is a 10-second clip, and then one of the reasons I didn't do vendor videos was because the camera I had, the little DJI one, it sucks at blue lights, that meant I would have had to have my big camera, and carrying that around all day was a pain in the ass. And on the morning of the show, I dropped my laptop, which had my SD card reader in, and it snapped the SD card reader. Laptop's fine, but it snapped the SD card reader, which meant I couldn't use any footage from that camera that day anyway. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? It's not meant to be.
Not good.
But there we go. Right. So back into the world of like normality. So I told you this at the show a couple of weeks ago. I did a 50% water change. That is what a 50% water change looks like. And this is what the corals look like when half of them were exposed. I didn't warm up the water. I just did the change and got on with it. But I just wanted to reset everything. And actually, the tank's doing nicely now. But one of the reasons I mentioned that is because there was someone at the show who came up to me and asked. He said, I think his tank was around 100 liters. And his phosphate was really high. It was 0.9, if I remember right. And maybe it was more. Anyway, it was really high. And he'd been told by, I can't remember who, but he'd been told by someone that he was asking, how do I get my phosphate down in a tank like that? Yeah. And they were telling him to put bacteria in to reduce the phosphate.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying, yeah.
And I was like, just do it. No, with anything, if you've got that kind of issue, 50% water change, do 2 of them back to back.
Yeah. No, I remember now. You asked me at the stand. You went, Ryan, if you got phosphate in your thing, have you ever put bacteria? And I was like, what are you talking? No.
But that's the reason I did that was because he's been given advice by someone, and I wanted to show that is bad advice. But buying something to deal with that is it's whoever gives him that advice. Maybe they're just trying to sell him a bottle of bacteria or something. I don't know that. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to make the point that that's just not the way to do it. And 50%. And the reason I'm sharing that is because often people think, oh God, I can't do a 50% water change. I need stability, and all that sort of stuff, which is what you get hammered in. And that's one of those messages that when you're new to the hobby, it's confusing. You're like, well, hang on, everyone says stability is important, and you're telling me to do 2 50% water changes in 2 days. That's ridiculous. That's the opposite of stability. But actually, it doesn't matter. Like a 50% water change is great if you're removing load of stuff that shouldn't be in there. And so there's just nothing wrong with doing that. If you're really concerned about it, do 25% water changes. But that's a really good way of resetting a tank.
I'm thinking about doing, like, the coral farms have been running for 5 years now. And I'm thinking about doing a serious, like 90% water change on them, just because I've got all the barrels now, so it's not even difficult. Like I've the barrels from the show, so it's not difficult to do. It's just about systematically filling them all up, putting all the salt in them, and then one day, literally just draining all of it, just draining it all down and just filling back up, just to sort of refresh. You know, people, you get something called like old tank syndrome, supposedly. It's just about resetting it back to like the beginning. So I am thinking about doing that on both systems, but it's like a mammoth task to do. You almost need a couple of days to prepare and then do it. But I don't know. We'll see.
I'm thinking of doing of making that a 6 monthly thing. So every 6 months, just do a 50% water change, just to remove any rubbish in there, just to reset it, and because the tank looks better now than it did before. So are you just looking at the comment you're posting? Oh, it's having problems posting it. Oh no, wait, no, there we go.
I'm not posting anything. Oh, no, I didn't see
that. Someone was asking if they were talking about no box. It might have been no box. I don't think it was.
But no box doesn't deal with phosphate brilliantly. It has like it deals with nitrate very well, but it doesn't deal with phosphate, and it's also not a bacteria.
No, it's not. It creates bacteria because it's a carbon. But if you put too much of it in, it'll strip out your phosphate. But again, you don't. Why not just do a water change? Like, why mess around with dosing the right amount, all that sort of stuff? I can't think of any good reason not to do. If you've got massively high phosphates, do a big water change, or 3 or 4 smaller water changes.
I've just remembered something actually that has changed. You know, obviously I said about doing the shed. You know, I had those massive black 600 litre vats, 2 of them. One was for RO, one was for salt water. Well, the plan originally was to have it so that the dosing pump would take some out and then put new water back in. It just didn't work. Getting it, like, it just didn't work. Basically, some people have had success with it, but the people that have done it previously, I think I
know what you're about to say now. I know how you've got around it.
Do you know what I've done?
Gravity.
No, what I've basically done, pretty much. I've lifted the barrel up. I've put them on cinder blocks.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm drilling a second hole through the wall.
Yeah.
And I'm having a pipe put through the wall with a valve on the end, and then I'm literally just going to be able just turn it, and it will just, like, water will shoot out into the tank. And I think, like, my problem with the water box is that I'm lazy.
You mean these things, breeze blocks?
Yeah. Oh yeah, breeze blocks or cinder. I think maybe it's an American cinder blocks.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. That's why I laughed.
But yeah, so I will be able to do a 600 litre water change on that in it, and it will be as easy as the coral farm. So the problem with that tank is I have to go back to doing a manual water change with barrels, siphoning the water out. Like once you know, when once you get to a certain stage, you can't go back to that, if you see what I mean. It's just painful.
Yeah.
This will stop that, and
you want to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah. And literally, I cannot wait, because the first thing I'm going to do is a 600 litre water change in probably 5 minutes.
Mark Bowen says 50% is okay, but when you have a 4,800 litre tank, that's not easy. Yeah, that's very true. Even then, it's still a good idea. It's just logistically, it's an absolute pain in the arse.
I know Mark's tank. I think it's 14 feet long.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a big tank. Yeah, you'd have to have a big old vat. I've now got I've got 4 massive B&Q containers that I've got to store somewhere. So from that water changes. Anyway, I've also whacked in some Bergie and Nudibranchs to deal with my aptages come back, basically. And I think this is going to be my life now. I'm going to buy a load of Bergie and Nudibranchs, put them in. 6 months later, they'll have cleared almost all of the aptasia out, but then they'll die off because there's no food. 6 months later, the aptasia will be back because some bits have escaped.
Yeah.
So I'll buy more Bergiers, and I think this is just going to be the way I do.
Do you have wrasse? I know that you.
I do. Two that would eat it. Yeah. A leopard wrasse and a halichoris. But the thing I think about this, right, is if people always say, "I can't have Bergie and Nudibranchs if you've got wrasses because they'll just eat them all." Yeah. But if you've got Monty-eating Nudibranchs, people will say, "Oh, can I just buy wrasses?" And they'll sort it. They'll be like, "Well, you can buy them, but they won't eat them all." So what, the Bergiers give off a pheromone that attracts wrasses or something? It doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense that they will eat them, but if they wouldn't, if it's surely the same has got to be true for both. And my experience, albeit only one time, was that the wrasses didn't eat them, or if they did, they didn't eat all of them. And the only thing that ended up causing them to die off was that there weren't any left.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is what I think you can do it. It's a risk, and you might end up spending 100 quid on Bergie and nudibranchs, and they just get eaten by all your wrasses. But I put them in the sump until the lights went off. Basically, all my wrasses were asleep. I released them, and then they've got 12 hours to hide, basically. So, and that's what I did last time, and it worked.
There you go.
So, but who knows? There'll be people out there who'll be like, "Oh, they just the wrasses ate them straight away." So, but I think it's worth doing because they're so good.
Yeah.
And there's zero chance of them eating any other corals. They are physiologically incapable, as far as I'm aware, of eating anything apart from Aptasia. So zero risk. I was well chuffed meeting you two, my two favorite YouTubers, Alex Reef Dork and Kev Caveman Aquatics.
Burn! I know. I was like, that is the most underhand comment.
I'm reading it
because at first you're like, "Oh, my two." Did you think the same thing? My two favorite YouTubers.
No, I saw the two, and I was like, yes.
Oh, I didn't see the second thing. It's okay.
Love the show.
I just cry myself to sleep tonight.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Yeah, good. You've got your priorities, so that's good. You can't consider yourself a YouTuber if you never upload YouTube videos. Right?
I uploaded a YouTube video last week.
Yeah, and 6 months before that. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, fair play.
Anyway, yes. What was I going to say? What? That's it. We need to deal with the Prestige Reef Fish of the Week, which is the best ever Prestige. And should
we do the car of the week, because you were like, "Nah, the car of the week's boring." So you don't want to do you don't want it to be like really cool and then not cool.
People are going to see the fish of the week and be like, "What are you talking about? It's rubbish." But I think I'd be surprised. I think most people like it. Car of the week.
Okay. So the car of the week I'm going for is passion fruit mushroom. They're like these sort of goldy colored mushrooms. The reason I thought I'd go, and they're with the dots you see. The reason I thought of this was because I spoke to the wholesaler and they said that mushrooms used to be like really, really popular, and they're just not as popular as they used to be. And I wondered if I wanted to ask the comments if anyone could think of a reason. Now, the only thing I could think of was that the price of them is significantly more than it used to be. Like, I don't know why mushrooms have shot up, because they used to like plague people's tanks, didn't they? You'd put one in, and then like 6 months later, you had like 200 of them.
Yeah, millions of the bastards, and you can't pick them off the rockwork. So.
But yeah, I thought the reason I picked that type of mushroom, I thought they were more one of the more unique mushrooms. They're like interesting, and they're sort of gold. So yeah, so Mailman says he loves mushrooms. You're like, move on, get to the fish.
I'm not. Sorry, he loves mushrooms. There you go. What I'm doing is because I saw a comment from Reef Keeper who said, Lismata verdemani, peppermint shrimp, have always worked for me. I've never had them eat any corals, but I guess they could. The reason that I don't use them anymore, because I used to, I've had success with them before and they're great, but the reason I don't use them anymore is this little bastard. This is... I've got to get hang on. Let me get a different video up, because he does. He absolutely tears into it. This was in my. Here we go. That is.
There's different types of peppermint, isn't there? So
that was, as far as I can be pretty confident that was a true peppermint shrimp, because they all look very similar. But that he absolutely, and he did eat the Aptasia, but he absolutely sliced and diced my torch coral, and that was not that. It looks unhealthy there because he's going for it, but that was actually before that. It was a healthy torch. Yeah. So they can do that from time to time, but because that's a risk now, I'm just like, I'm not doing it. But they are generally actually safe, and that's the only time I've had problems. But yeah, there you go. But I just that upset me. Although it didn't upset me that much, because I got my camera out and filmed him for 2 minutes before I actually took him out.
It's too late by that point, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, anyway, so the passion fruit mushroom. This is sold out on your website, by the way. You need to stop doing corals that you can't sell right now.
I need tomorrow I'm going to go through like the entire website, because obviously so many corals sold at Aqua. Like I have 9 empty trays, and I think the trays have like 180 frags on each. So there's 9. Is that right? That might not be right, but yeah, either way, I have 9. I'm just to work out 980 times 9. Yeah, no, that's way too many. Anyway, yeah, there are 9 empty trays either way. which means there must be a lot of. I reckon there's some coral which is on the website, which is not. It was in stock on the website, which isn't there, and there's some corals like that which I've got, which are not in stock. So I just need to go through and do like one massive overhaul and correct it all. So I actually do have these.
There we go. So you do. They're just not up to date as yet. Fine. Anyway, so that is the Prestige Reef coral. Anyway, anything else? Actually, how hardy are they? Are they just the same as any mushroom, easy to keep?
So with mushrooms, discosomas, which is what these are. The discosomas are like the smooth ones. And the what's the other ones called? Redactus are the ones that are like more bumpy. Discosoma are usually less hardy than Redactus. Redactus are like, like the fur green mushrooms. Yeah. They're like bulletproof. And the other thing is, loads of people did this, including me. I don't know if people still do it, but probably. You can put mushrooms together and you won't notice it because it's not like instant, like where a torch stings something, it dies. But Redactus will kill discosoma.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
I've already forgotten which these Redactus or discosomas. Sorry,
these are discos. So
discos are less hardy.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I found them to be a bit more sensitive. They're more like famous ones are like jawbreakers are discosomas as well.
Okay.
So but yeah, whereas the bounce mushrooms are Redactus, but they're like extreme Redactus.
These used to be 35 quid on your website. I'm guessing because they're more expensive now, if they were to go back up, they'd be more than that.
No, they probably would be £35. They've never been super common. Yeah, they've never been super common.
Cool.
So they might have even been 30 at the show. I can't remember. I took them to the show with me.
Okay. There's so this is another photo from Natalius Aquaristic, which I presume is in Germany. Oh, NR. I don't know what that is.
They got like leopard print on them. I don't know why aren't they called leopard print ones?
Yeah, that's true. But that's a more yellow light. But that's what it looks like under yellow lights.
Yeah. Someone's just asked if a St. Thomas is a Redactus. It is. Yeah. If it's got little like tentacly bits like St. Thomas or, as I said, the fur green mushrooms, or even if they're just slightly, they don't have to be really long. Yeah, they're Redactus. If they're smooth, they're the discosomas.
Mushroom chat with Prestige Reef.
Yeah. Like I absolutely loved mushrooms when I first started, and to some extent I still do to this day. I don't really have many in the farm because you get some in, you break them up, you put them on frag plugs, and then a week later they've decided to leave the frag plug, and I'm just like, why do you do this to me? So I don't usually get them in. I'm considering doing it, but they're not cheap to buy either. They're not cheap to buy anymore. So you used to be able to get a whole rock that was like from the fish shop. I'm sure I bought one covered in like fur green mushrooms for like 20 quid. Like they're more than that from the wholesaler these days. So like the prices from them must have vastly changed, like in the shop.
Yeah, so I was going to say something about mushrooms and I can't remember what it was. It was probably witty and insightful, but we'll move on because I can't remember. And this means
Fish of the week. You got like a
hang on. Have I downloaded a load of new things?
People are going to be so disappointed by how much you hyped this up.
I downloaded new sound effects, but it turns out it was the wrong one.
No, that's not.
And then I got one for the Tang Police.
Oh, nice.
Which is that. Nice. And then another one for when I say something really funny.
So that's never happened.
No. And
I like how you try to make the show more classy.
I know, yeah. And then if I say something that's like really like triumphant.
Okay. Yeah. Moving on. Anyway.
One last sound effect. Oh boy. Sorry, fish of the week. Fish
of the week. I have gone for a porcupine pufferfish. But not any porcupine pufferfish. There are some very, very rarely collected porcupine pufferfish which are blue. So I've only seen, they're not collected very often. And when I first showed this to Alex thought this was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, I was like, no way.
They don't get as big. I think they might be known as something else, like the pelagic porcupine puffer. But they don't get as big as a normal porcupine pufferfish. And there are other pictures of them, and some of them even have like they're blue but have like a gold cap on their head. You might see if you like Google image search it. But
do you know actually what I should have done before we pulled this picture up?
Yeah. What?
drum roll. Ah,
No, not quite. So we have had the first review. Mailman says that's nice. So
yes, go on.
now this fish, I don't know the exact cost of it, but it is in the thousands. Like it is a lot of money.
And price on this last one.
I think it's a few thousand. That's not 100% certain, because they're so rare that there is no price. If you see what I mean.
That's such a cool blue as well. That's I thought that to me looks like someone's just changed the color on Photoshop.
Well,
but it's so.
So RVS actually found, I think, 8 of them recently, and so they've collected it. This is who you're seeing it from. I actually messaged them the other day on Facebook, going, "Look, you when Jake Adams was around, he used to speak to them, I believe, and then they would send him interesting fish, and he would show it to people on Reef Builders. It doesn't really happen as much anymore. So I said, look, I have a YouTube channel. If you got any interesting fish and you want to show them off to people, just let me know, because I would just show them on here, for example, or whatever." But so they collected 8 of them. One of my customers has potentially bought one. That's so cool. I might be able to see one in the. I'm genuinely excited.
This is what you're going to be like.
Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, look. Okay. North Wales rider Jason has decided to redeem himself by saying, I wasn't his favorite YouTuber, but I was his favorite coral vendor. So different category. So
the lady from Cardiff was amazing.
That's Licia.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. North Wales rider. Does that mean you're a biker? I bet it does. Good lad. Yeah, it's such a cool fish though. I've never seen that. I think the colours are really striking, beautiful. Got blue eyes, blue eyes.
If you look at it, that's taken in white light.
Yeah. You see the hand, normal
it's
colour hand.
Yeah. So that could potentially be a really, really special fish.
Puffers are the coolest fish. Puffers are so amazing.
There's one with a gold cap. See on the second row. It's got black background there. Yeah. So some of them have a gold cap as well.
Don't like that.
It's not quite the same. It's still interesting. If I hadn't showed you the blue one first, you'd be like, oh, that's an interesting puff fish.
I'd be like, no, I'd rather eat that than have it in a tank.
Really? Well, they're poisonous, so I wouldn't advise it.
I'm hard though, Ryan.
Yeah, true. But as I said, I really, really hope. I believe that it's in the process. They've potentially a deal has been done with someone or whatever. But I really, really hope he gets it, because that would be such a cool fish to see.
Yeah.
Because it's not very often I get to see fish I haven't seen before. And I think the last time it happened was at the same person's tank with the banded angel. The bandit angels, the Hawaiian ones.
Yeah.
So that was a cool fish to see as well. So yeah, that's why I decided to pick it as fish of the week.
Excellent fish of the week. I like it a lot.
So weird sometimes.
So all right. Well, so anything else to tell us? I mean, I presume you've never had one of those. Can you tell us?
Oh, you presume I've never had one? I actually can't tell you anything else about it.
No.
The only thing I know is that they don't get as big as the normal ones.
Okay.
And they're called pelagic. I'm not sure why they're called pelagic. I'm assuming they're from a different area. Yeah. I'm assuming they're out in the ocean rather than on a reef, which is why you hardly ever catch them.
Yeah, that would make sense. Although I don't, they're not built. Fish like that are not built for being out in the ocean. But
that's true.
Who knows? Well, in which case, I think, are you ready for the news, Ryan?
I am. Yes.
News. Now, I promised you there was news, didn't I?
Yeah.
And now I've got to show you what the actual news is. So this weekend is Reef Dork, Las Vegas. Reef Dork, Las Vegas.
I was so tempted. I was like, I've just had a really big time at a great time at Aqua, and I need some time off, and a weekend in Vegas would have been amazing. And I was like, oh, nah, I can't.
I would have loved to go to that as well. Yeah. So today was the last day. It is now. Oh no, actually, Alexa, what time is it in Las Vegas? Let's find out if it's still on. In Las Vegas, it's 12:32 p.m.
My Alexa is going off, as well as everyone else who's listening.
Yeah, sorry guys. So it's still underway. So they've probably got this on the big screen at the show. So hi guys, how are you doing?
It's still talking.
Your Alexa is.
Yeah. I'm going to try. Alexa, order coral from Prestige Reef.
Well, I've got my headphones on, so I'm all right. But yeah, so yeah, Reef Dork is on this weekend, so you can still go there, but you've got like 4 hours before it closes, 3.5. So we will see more videos from Reef Dork, no doubt, in the coming days. Salem, presumably. Actually, I don't know where Salem lives, to be honest. I don't know where anyone lives in the States.
I hope it's something that they do there consistently, because of all
Vegas.
the fish shows I've ever been to, Vegas was the best one. And it's the atmosphere which makes the difference. And everyone's if you're in Vegas, everyone's in a good mood. People are drinking and they're gambling. Like I don't do that particularly, but like it's like great fun for people. So I think, and that on the first day of the show, everyone's in like a great mood. On the second day of the show, everyone's hungover. So it's a bit quieter. But that was at Macna when I went to Vegas. And that was, I said that was the best show. So hopefully they keep doing it, and maybe one year we'll go to that one.
I'll go at some point. Sanjay Joshi, Mark Levinson are there, various others. There were, so I presume there'll be, the thing I like about the shows in the States that I get to watch from over here is that there are often loads of videos of stuff that is there, either cool corals or new equipment or whatever. And I really enjoyed making those videos this time around, because particularly there were loads of really cool tanks. Last year there wasn't really anything new and exciting. This year there was loads of new stuff. A skimmer, a couple of skimmers, which they're pretty boring to be fair, but still there was a light which gives me a big Casey Stoner. So and lots of other stuff.
Don't worry, I'm sure that by next week you'll have forgotten about these.
I know. I'll get more. Moving on to other news. And we have, so I started reading this and then Ryan rocked up and started distracting me and talking to me. So
okay, so you're about to give us news that you don't know about.
We're going to learn about this together.
Okay.
This is the world's first Center for Species Survival on Coral Conservation. So this is Florida Aquarium, and I think that they've set up a just like they're pulling in corals to store them, I guess. But let's read it together, shall we? With a historic first, Florida Aquarium has partnered with IUCN SSC. Don't know what that is. No, I do know. International Union for Conservation of Nature Species Survival Commission. And they've partnered to launch the world's first global hub dedicated to coral conservation. The historic milestone creates the first center specifically dedicated to safeguarding corals and reef ecosystems from extinction, further expanding the international CSG network across 6 continents. Basically, conservation, helping reefs, good news. Like good news. Don't get much good news, do we? So yeah. Fair play. Well done. Well done, Florida Aquarium and everybody else. And that is the end, basically. That's it. We've had a great suggestion though. Next year you should do a show in America.
Yeah, I know, but I couldn't take the coral, could I?
So, yeah, of course you can just
I'm not sure it's a great suggestion. I think
brilliant.
Chris just wants to go to America.
Yeah, no, smuggle up, get a boat, hire a boat. No one will check. Just just rock up and you'll be like, sorry,
trust me, I'm not trying to sneak into America.
That's true.
But it's very different trying to do that these days.
It's very true. All right, Alex on stage with his sound effects. That's a genuinely good idea. That would be hilarious. So we'll try that. Right.
Give you too much power.
It's like a kid with a new toy. Yeah. The thing is, I've had them for about 2 years. I just forgot about them, and I saw them the other day, and I was like, oh. Anyway, do you have anything else you would like to talk about, Ryan from prestigereef.co.uk and coral-auctions.co.uk?
That's the only thing I wanted to mention. So we are doing like a staged thing on the auction site. There's corals ending. It's a bit late now, but I think probably most of them ended. There's one nice track, isn't there? A pink one. I think it ends in like 15 minutes. But that wasn't the reason I wanted to mention it, is because you probably have to scroll down. Actually, or it'll be under the active ones.
You'll have to, there we go.
What was I saying? Right. So other people have now been listing on the website. I've just had a look. Some people are listing literally as we're on the show. I think new corals have gone on. So Reef Keeper Moss End have been listing on there for a couple of weeks. There's a couple of other people that have been listing on there for a little while as well now. and it's working, and everything is looking good. If you would like to, I'm not ready to release it to everyone just yet because I want to do this like a stage thing just in case. Look, there's a nice dragon star on there. It's cheap, that one as well.
£2 bargain, yeah, cheaper than yours.
I'm amazed that's still there because that is a bargain. And that actually went up before the show. I noticed, and I was like, why have they put that up?
Yeah.
I got loads of them, and he put one up for £30. But so if anyone sells coral regularly, and you would like to be one of the next people to be on the website, get in contact with me. As I said, I'm not ready to let everyone on it yet, but if you're one of the people doing it regularly on eBay, for example, or selling all the time, get in contact, and we'll probably be able to work something out. But it's a big deal. It's a big deal because I think Moss End have actually sold a relatively high amount in 2 weeks off of it, considering they've not put a huge amount on. And I love the fact that they put acros on there. I don't put acros on there. In fact, all of the corals they put on, I don't have any of those corals.
There's some nice corals in here.
And you know what else was nice as well? Today they advertised it. So they went to all of their customers and they went, we are on this site and we've just uploaded like 50 new corals on there. And that's what this is about. I share my customers and so a lot of the people buying from me today will have seen their corals. So and vice versa, that some of their people never would have heard of me. And it's like you build this together, everyone. So as I said, if you're one of the people that sells corals and you want to be on the next part of the process before everyone gets to go on there, let me know.
Pink Planet Aqua, that's nice, by the way.
I like that. I think their acros are cheap and they're well nice.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm just like have lost. I'm not sure if acros have come down in price or what, but some of them are like really, really nice, I think.
Yeah, there's
I didn't see that.
60 quid. That's a good price.
Yeah, I was just saying it's a good price.
I've bought a few acros. I've been into Reef Keeper obviously all the time, and I've bought a few acros. I was away this weekend. I was up north, but I went into Reef Keeper and I bought a few acros recently. They got some really nice ones. Bruce is kind of ramping up the acro goodness, so
yeah, good, perfect. I think they're just slowly going. Actually, there is something here with regards to let's put it this way, they wouldn't still be uploading new corals if it wasn't working for them.
Prime Corals is just sorting out his WYSIWYG section, then he's going to join as well, which is cool.
Yeah, perfect. That's what I want. So I literally want everyone to be on there.
Excellent. I heard a rumor through you about someone else who was joining, but I won't say it now because I don't know if it's happening or not. But
I don't know who that is, but we'll just message me afterwards.
Tell you in a minute. Well,
is it you?
Well, no, I will at some point.
Yeah,
I will. Yeah, because I've actually got some stuff now. I've turned my little my coral the frag section in the sump now, which is like a dedicated frag section in my tank. I've started to put a load of frags in there because I've got stuff that's growing out, but I've also put a couple of corals in there that just need somewhere to chill out and recover. So actually that's going to be kind of like a display frag tank for me. Every now and then I go down there and I just sit there and look at it. So I've got my trackies in there, and they're both enjoying life more now than they were before. I can feed them easily in there as well, so I think that's helping. But
that's interesting. I wonder why they're because they weren't happy in your main tank for a little while, were they?
No, I mean, so the only change really is that they're away. Two.
You know, you need to cover them in silt.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is true. Which is the Titled Gardens video. But no, so the two changes are they're not around fish. So it's not impossible that I had fish pecking at them, but I don't think so because I've done that before with other corals and it hasn't changed anything. But also I've started feeding them pellets, LPS pellets. What's the company based in Manchester called? Vitalis LPS pellets, and they like go so that's good. But anyway, I actually like having. I asked you to get some pipefish the other day. And the plan was to put them, I don't know if I can do it, but the plan was to put them in there. So I've got fish in my sump.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good idea because food won't get down there. But I don't know. I've got my little scooter, my dragonet, scarlet dragonet, and he doesn't eat anything I put in. And he's fatter than he was when I first put him in, noticeably fatter, twice as fat. So there's obviously lots of microfauna. And that's despite there being wrasses and hawkfish and other fish. So it's all good. Anyway, do you have anything else you would like to talk about before we end the show?
Nope. I would say that's it for me.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining, guys. Thank you for everybody who came over and said hello at Aqua. and we will be back next week with more nonsense. Go and buy some carols. Bye.
See you later. Bye.